Let me describe a couple to you. They're 62, maybe 63 years old. He spent 35 years building something, a business, a career, a portfolio. He did everything right. He saved hard. He maxed his 401k every single year. He's got, let's say, $4 million, maybe more. She was a teacher. She worked for her school district for 30 years. She enjoyed summers off with their 3 kids. And over that time, she accumulated significant assets, a pension that replaces 80% of her salary, and a retirement account with nearly $1 million. Between the two of them, they have $5 million saved. Between her pension and their Social Security, they have more money than they spend coming in every month. And they're about to make a series of decisions that could cost them several $100,000. And they have no idea they're even making them. The market isn't the threat anymore. They already won that game. They have enough. The threat is the tax code. And almost nobody is talking to them about it in a way that actually fits their situation. That's why this show exists. Welcome to The Bracket. I'm Ryan Knoll. This is the show about retirement decisions nobody prepared you for. Specifically the tax decisions, the ones that quietly decide whether you keep your wealth or hand a needless slice of it to the IRS over the next 20 or 30 years. And I want to be clear about who this is for, because it's not for everyone, and I'd rather tell you straight than waste your time. This show is for people who've already accumulated real money, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million and up. If you're somewhere in that range, approaching retirement, or maybe already in it, you're exactly who I made this for. If you're earlier in the journey, still building, still accumulating, there's a ton of great content out there for you. This probably isn't it, and that's okay. Here's why the line matters. Almost all the retirement advice you've ever heard was written for someone with a few $100,000. Don't spend too much, watch your fees, don't panic when the market drops. And that's fine advice for the right person, but it has almost nothing to do with your situation. Because when you've got several $1 million spread across a 401k, an IRA, a brokerage account, maybe some company stock, or in a business that you built yourself, your problem isn't whether you saved enough. Your problem is that a huge chunk of your money has never been taxed, and the government has not forgotten. Let me show you what I mean with one example, just one. We'll go deep on all of these in future episodes, but I want you to feel the shape of the problem today. You spent your whole career being told to defer taxes. Put it in the 401k, don't pay tax now, pay it later when you're retired and likely in a lower tax bracket. Here's what nobody tells you. For a lot of high net worth retirees, that lower bracket never shows up. Because a few years into retirement, the government forces you to start pulling money out of those accounts, whether you need it or not. They're called required minimum distributions. And if you did your job too well, if that IRA grew into something large, those forced withdrawals can land on top of your Social Security, on top of your other income, and shove you into a higher bracket than you were in while you were working. Think about that. You deferred taxes for 40 years to save money, and it can end up costing you more. That's the default outcome if nobody intervenes. The tax bomb is sitting in the account, quietly ticking, and the fuse is the calendar. Now here's the part that should make you lean in. You have a window, usually the years after you stop working, but before those forced withdrawals begin, a gap. And in that gap, you have more control over your tax bill than at any other point in your life. What you do in that window, how much you intentionally create, what form it takes, what order you pull from which account, that's the difference between diffusing that bomb and letting it go off. That's what this show is about. The levers you actually control, not the market, the timing, the sequencing, the structure of your own income. A quick word on who's talking to you, and then we'll get to work. I'm Ryan Knoll, and I'm the founder of a firm called Nav Wealth Partners. We're a fiduciary financial planning firm, which means we don't sell products and we don't earn commissions. But I'll be honest, that's table stakes, not a selling point. And I'm not going to spend this show patting myself on the back for it. What actually makes us different is focus. We do one thing. We engineer the tax strategy for the distribution years, the phase where you stop adding to the pile and start living off of it. That's the hardest, most underserved part of this entire field, and it's all we do. We manage assets and create tax-efficient outcomes for the clients we serve. That's it. No fancy investments, no loopholes, just knowing the tax code and positioning your assets to get the most bang for your buck. On this show, I'm going to give you the same frameworks we use with our own clients, the real ones. I'll walk you through concepts we call the stack and the conversion corridor. And don't worry, I'll define every term. No jargon left hanging. And I want to set an expectation. I'm not here to scare you into calling my firm. If you finish an episode and you've learned enough to go handle this yourself or take it to your own advisor and ask sharper questions, that's genuinely good. That's a win. My job on this microphone is to make you the most informed person in the room about your own retirement tax picture, whether you ever become my client or not. So here's what's coming. In the episodes ahead, we'll get into Roth conversions, how much, when, and the cliff where doing too much backfires. We'll talk about the order you should draw your accounts down and why the obvious order is usually wrong. We'll cover the tax trap hiding inside a high dividend portfolio, the surcharges on your Medicare premiums that most people never see coming, how to handle that liquidity event from selling your business, and make sure you operate under the estate tax exemption, and how to prepare for the one most important year, the year your income spikes, that can quietly wreck a decade of good planning. Real numbers, real frameworks, no products, no pitch, no fluff. If you've worked hard enough to have a tax problem worth solving, you're in the right place. Welcome to the bracket. I'm Ryan Knoll. Let's get to work. Quick but important note. Everything on this show is educational and for general information only. It is not personalized investment, tax, or legal advice, and listening does not create an advisory relationship with Nav Wealth Partners. Nav is a registered investment advisor. Your situation is your own. Please consult a qualified professional before acting on anything you heard here. I'm Ryan Knoll. Thanks for listening to The Bracket.